Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing Daleks Invasion Earth 2150, the second Peter Cushing movie. Now this is the first time I've ever seen this. This was sent to me along with the first Peter Cushing movie by The Fly Attractor, one of my subscribers, who sent me several things. I watched the first one a few months back, and this one had slipped my mind, and when I was going through looking at stuff the other day, I'm like, I still gotta watch that. So it gave me something to watch last night. I'm looking forward to kind of reviewing it, talking about it. It's a good movie, really good movie. I really liked it. The color really pops off the screen on this Blu-ray release. I mean, it is that very 60s Technicolor. It looks really, really good. I was really impressed with the color. Just how good the film looked. It looked really nice. I loved the Daleks spaceship. That is such a cool design, especially like for a 60s design. I really like the Daleks spaceship, especially how the two parts of it turn, and they turn counter to each other in the opposite directions from each other. I thought that was really cool. Oh, I thought I heard it. Thought the camera made a noise. One has to check these things. I really thought that was cool. It was interesting. I knew Bernard Cribbins was in this. I didn't realize he was kind of the main male role outside of the Doctor. He's kind of the Ian of the story. I didn't realize he was in that predominant of a role. And I recognized him pretty quick. It took that, I didn't, not quite at first, but the first time he sticks his head in the TARDIS, I was like, that's Bernard Cribbins. That's Bernard Cribbins. I'm not used to seeing him so young and clean shaven. Being an American, I'm not as familiar with his work. You know, I just know him as Wilf from Doctor Who. And I know he's in the Looking for Lenny behind the feature on that DVD box set. So I wasn't expecting him to come in like that. And so it kind of surprised me to see him in such a main role. But he's great in it. He's absolutely great in it. I mean, he's a good actor. It's neat seeing him so young when I'm only used to seeing him when he's in his 80s. So that was actually pretty neat. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty cool. I really liked that funny little comedy bit when he's pretending to be a Robo-Man and he's in with all of the other Robo-Men. And they're doing that little bit when they're getting their food to eat, and he's trying to mimic them, and he's having trouble pulling it off. That was funny. It was nice to see a little humor mixed in with that. That was actually pretty hilarious, and I really enjoyed that. I love the scenes with the Dalek ship and how well the Dalek ship is incorporated into other shots to make it look like it's there, like how they... I don't know how they did that. I mean, it probably wasn't CSO, but how they got the Dalek model in some of those live action shots when it's like shooting trucks and floating in space. There's one when they're driving in the truck and they look up and you see the ship with the trees passing by it. That was really cool. They did a lot of really neat special effects shots. I love all of the location work. The location work was really, really good in this. I was really... impressed with just how much more of a budget this had than, say, the TV version of the story. Like when they're at the camp, at the cave, where the cave entrance is, the mine entrance. I love the little backdrop that has the mountain with the base and all that on it and the ship. That was a cool little backdrop right there. That looked pretty neat. I was curious what was going to be in this and what wasn't, because, of course, the movie is shorter than the TV version, which is 6 parts. Like, I figured the part with the 2 women, when Susan and the other guys stay at their house, the 2 women betray them for food. I was surprised that stayed in. I kind of figured that was going to get cut. It seemed maybe a little excess. I mean, it explains how they get captured, but I figured just for time that would be cut. So when it actually happened, I was really surprised by it, like really, really surprised by it. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's why the Daleks leave them alone. You get the impression this isn't the first time they've turned in people for food. And that's probably why the Daleks leave them there, because they're useful for turning people in. That's probably just what they do. I think that's why the Daleks killed the one guy in the trench coat after he turned into the doctor. They realized, well, he's no use to us anymore, so they blow up the cabin. I always have to readjust to the fact the Daleks in the Cushing universe don't have lasers. They have that little mist, which is a neat effect, the little mist. I like it too because it makes them more dangerous up close, but not at a distance. If you can get away from the range of the mist, you have a chance. So while still being deadly because they're Daleks, if you can get far enough away from them, that mist can't reach you like the laser blast can. So if you can get out of range of the mist, you have a better chance. I love the assault on the Dalek base toward the beginning of the movie, like when they're trying to go get who is it? The Doctor and Tommy, is that Bernard Cribbins' character's name, Tommy, the policeman? When they're going to get him and, when they assault the Dalek base, that looks really cool. It's a lot better in the movie than it was in the show. I thought that was really, really well done. A lot of extras, a lot of explosions. Seeing the rebels actually having the upper hand for a little bit until the Daleks get coordinated. Once the Daleks get coordinated, it's over. And of course, Doctor Who and David managed to get out. And of course, Tommy's stuck in the ship with the girl, not Barbara, I forget her name, but it's not Barbara. They're in the ship together. I gotta admit, the part when they go through that little disposal chute, I think I'd have been scared to do that. They're lucky it just dropped them out. I'd be worried that thing would have fed to a furnace. When they're talking about, well, we can always try that, I'm like, not me. Man, that could be a shredder down there. That could be a furnace down there. Something that shreds it up before it drops it out. I don't think I could have taken that chance. You go first. If I hear you scream really bad and it suddenly cut off, I know not to go. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I do like Peter Cushing in the role again. Again, his first Doctor is very different than Hartnell's first Doctor, especially early Hartnell's first Doctor. He is more genial, more kind, more grandfatherly, honestly. He acts more grandfatherly. He's very kind. He'll be a little stern when he needs to be. But he's also very kind to the people with him. I think Peter Cushing puts in a great performance. I actually like this version of Susan better than our actual version of Susan, because I feel like the version of Susan in this movie is more useful than TV Susan, who just irks. So it's neat seeing the movie follow kind of the same beats as the TV serial, which I knew it was going to do. Seeing the TARDIS get blocked where they can't get to it, and Susan hurting her ankle, and them getting separated, and them finding the dead body, and the ladies betraying Susan, and the guy with Susan. So it's interesting seeing the story kind of through a different lens. And again, color really helps this. I do like the color in this. Though I love some of the iconic location filming from the TV story. Now, if you're asking me which one I like better, I don't know. I think it's less which one I like better and more which one I would be in the mood to watch at any given time. Because they're both really kind of different flavors of the same story. They really are. So I think it's more what I'm in the mood to watch, more just kind of what I'm in the mood for. Like, if I want to see the romance between David and Susan grow and get to see that fantastic Hartnell speech at the end. And to see, of course, Ian fighting with that little creature thing he has to fight with. I can watch the TV show, and with the iconic location filming in it, I can do that. But at the same time, the movie, again, the colors really pop in the movie. I love that spaceship design. I like Cushing's Doctor. And if I'm just in the mood to see like a shorter version of it, I can do that as well. So it's more just which one I'm in the mood for, and less which one do I actually think is better, or which one do I like is better. They're both really good. I enjoy the Dalek Invasion of Earth. I think it's the first true great Dalek story, because I didn't really care for the Daleks much. It's all right. It's just too long. Although the first Dalek movie is good. the TV story of the first Daleks is just too long. Although some of the design choices for the first Dalek movie are weird, like the Thals. That's an odd design choice. Odd. I love the incidental music in this as well. I made a mental note of that like several times throughout the movie here, the second one, Invasion Earth 2151, that I was really liking what the incidental music was doing. It was really good. It had that kind of 60s sound to it, which it should, and it was perfectly cued with what was happening on screen. It really fit what was happening on screen at the time, I felt. So it's a fun adventure. It's hard for me to believe it's a 60s movie. I mean, it looks like a 60s movie, but the restoration for the Blu-ray is so good that it seems like you're almost there. Like you can just reach out and tap Peter Cushing on the shoulder. It looks better than a 60s movie has a right to look, if that makes sense. It's a really nice restoration. I'm sure the 4K one's even better. But I was really surprised by how much I was enjoying this. I don't know which Robo-Men design I like better. I think I might like the TV ones because it looks more rigged up and they look more like zombies because they're still in their individual clothes. They look more like proto-Cybermen and you get more of an impact of what was actually done to them. Whereas in the movie, they look more like soldiers. So I think I like the TV version of that better. I felt odd for the one guy, like when they're about to climb up the mine shaft, Bernard Cribbins recognizes the one Robo-Man, not realizing he's been brainwashed, and he calls out his name, and the Robo-Man starts wrestling with the other guy that's helping Bernard Cribbins. But instead of like helping save him, Bernard Cribbins just climbs on up the shaft and leads them there wrestling, and they both fall into the shaft together. I'm like, you could have helped him. You just left him there while you... What? Oh, and some of the camera shots. I love some of the set design in this. Like the interior of the Dalek ship looks absolutely phenomenal. I was really impressed with the interior of the Dalek ship. That looked really, really good. Some of those tracking shots, some of the camera work in this is really good too. I really enjoyed some of the camera work. Some of the tracking shots when when the camera's following the Daleks around their base, their control base, looks really good. Like the camera's moving and shifting, and I was really impressed. And then some of the set design, like right there in the room that they dropped the bomb down, it's multi-levels. That had to be hard for the Dalek operators to not fall off. Like there's this one tracking shot of the red Dalek when he's kind of moving along this really narrow spot. And I'm like, if he's not careful, he's going to fall off. And that would probably be really bad. That looks like a bit of a fall. There's a couple other times too when they're going over these narrow little spots where I'm like, you got to be really on the ball there. You're going to tip over, or else you're going to bump the wall. It's going to look bad. So I was impressed with that set design and the camera work and the Dalek operators all making that scene work. That was done really, really, really well. And two, I like the Daleks in this. I love the Dalek voices. The Dalek voices are absolutely phenomenal in this. I have to mention that. Love the Dalek voices. And I love the different colored Daleks, kind of designating, each one's function and what they do. I know that's kind of what they were going for with the Paradigm Daleks when they brought them back in Modern Who. So I kind of like that here. It looks really good having the red Dalek, the gold Dalek, the black Dalek, and then of course the standard Daleks. I enjoyed seeing them take advantage of the fact that this was in color and having these different colored Daleks. I like seeing the little claw on the red Dalek. I love the little claw. I wish they'd bring the little claw back. I really did enjoy a lot of this story. It comes together well. Like I said, I'm not quite sure what I like better between the TV episode and the movie. It just depends on which one I'm in the mood for. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this watch through. I think I enjoyed the second movie more than the first movie, but I liked the first movie as well. So, Peter Cushing's Dalek Invasion Earth 2150. What do you think of it? Comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon that does help me pay the bills. If you would like to support me on that, there is a link to that down in the description below. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Stephen Crane, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review. This Blu-ray was actually sent to me by one of my subscribers, which I appreciate. And I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down there as well. Most importantly, though, I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. And I hope all of you have a fantastic day and a Happy New Year.